Tonight we're going to be looking at procrastination, and it's something I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone where they've gone, "Oh, I don't do that." I think we all at some level, whether it's with our work, with our hobbies, with housework, we all put stuff off from time to time. And there can be a number of reasons why we do this. And today I'm not going to go deeply into that side of stuff. I'm going to touch on some stuff because I really want to get into the practical side of things for everyone. The main two, I would say the top two reasons why people procrastinate is one, whatever that task is seems too big, too much, like a mountain to climb, or it's too complex. It seems too twisted and difficult to approach. And you can add into that sometimes that it can seem too painful, depending on what it is. But usually it's too big. So, I'll put that off until when I've got more time. I'll do it when I've got more time because there's so much of it. That's one reason we'll procrastinate. The other is we just don't want to do it. Just don't want to do that thing. It's boring. It's like, yeah, okay, I know I've got to do that, but quite frankly, that job or watching paint dry, where's that paint? Do you know what I mean? It's that the job that we need to do, that task it does nothing for us. It does not float our boats, and we just don't want to do it. We just don't want to do it. And when I first started on my journey with hypnosis and NLP and that side of things, my mentor, a wonderful chap called John Chase, who he was brilliant. He's brilliant. It's a bit of a character. That's why I paused there, because I'm saying he's brilliant and amazing. Other people really might not like the guy. But I found him really, really useful. And it was really interesting for me because we were going through what I was going to do next and how I was going to move things forward. And he was just like, he'd go, "So Rob, when you're done, when you get back and you've had a week to say, process for everything we've done and shared and go right, what's your next step?" And I'm like, well, if I do this and then maybe do that and then eventually I could do that. And he just turned and said, "Rob, just do it." And I really, for me, that simple mantra, just do it. And I still use it today. It's still there. Before we started this, I was showing the sound box that I've made. And I was sat here going, I really should get that done so I can make a start on recording. And I could hear his voice, Brummie accent, going, "Just do it," in the back of my head. And so I got on and did it. So the first tip of today's workshop is literally, there's a job that needs doing, just do it. Because once it's out of the way, you're freed up to do other things and get on with other things. For me, I had to very consciously at first, when I found myself procrastinating, was kind of pick myself up, give myself a shake, give my head a wobble and say, "Rob, just do it." And I would go forward and I'd get that thing done. And like anything, like a lot of the stuff I share, it doesn't happen overnight. We have to develop new habits, good habits. So that was the just do it habit. I developed a habit where now, if there's a task to do, and especially if it's one that I don't really want to do, accounts, doing your own books. For me, that's boring. But the voice in my head now just says, just do it. And so I act upon that. And they get the job done, and it usually takes a lot less time than I ever imagined, because that's one of the things when it comes to procrastination that we're up against is our imagination, because that task that seems too big or too complex or we think is just going to be too boring, often it's our imaginations expanding that into something that makes it more than we can ever ever think we can tackle, and so we don't bother. Whereas if you adopt just do it, you can get ahead. So by the time your mind, your imagination has cooked up this big reason, this big thing for why you can't do that thing today, it's done. And you go, mind, you didn't act quick enough. So that is my first tip for today when it comes to procrastination. And the other thing is, if you are very, very good at procrastinating, then you have a skill. You have an ability to put off things and do them later. So what I would suggest is really apply that skill in a certain way and start to procrastinate your procrastination. Start to procrastinate your procrastination. Put off putting things off so you can get them done. It's a simple approach, but you'll be surprised how many people, when I've worked with them, have kind of gone, I can't help it, I'm procrastinating, And you go, well, okay, you're really good at procrastination, aren't you? Oh, yeah, you're really good at putting those things off. Yeah. So from now on, I want you to procrastinate your procrastination. Put your procrastination skills into procrastinating, thus putting things off and then getting them done. Just take a moment. Just imagine that job that you're doing right now, that you should be doing right now, that you keep putting off. It could be more than one. We usually have more than one. But if we're honest with ourselves, it's never just one thing, is it? It's always other things as well. But pick one and just take a moment and imagine using that procrastinating you. Imagine that you procrastinating that job. Imagine that you putting off that job, and begin to see yourself doing it. Because if you're putting that job, you can just do it, can you not? And if you're just doing it, then you're putting the first practice into place. And if you put the first practice and build that habit of just doing it, and also then build up that ability to procrastination, and between the two, you're actually becoming quite dynamic, are you not? And you can do that. It takes a little bit of discipline, a little bit of focus. We all have to pick ourselves up from time to time with this stuff and go, Rob. Well, obviously you wouldn't say Rob, but I do. Rob, what are you doing? Come on, focus. Or you've not done this time. But the thing is, with any sort of personal development work, when we're building up these new habits, building up these new practices, a bit like dieting, if you give yourself a hard time when you don't do it, or you fall back a bit, or you slip into old patterns and habits, then you're less likely to do it. One of my favorite analogies for anything, whether it's meditation or whether it's when you're working on yourself, is that thing. We've all been in a conversation where you're chatting with somebody and a thought pops in your head or something catches your eye and you drift out of that conversation for a moment. And you're just like, oh, sorry, back here. It's never an issue. No one feels worse of you. You've gone, drifted back. That's all you ever need to do. When you're developing new habits like the just do it habit or procrastinating your procrastination, if sometimes you don't do the thing, just do it the next. Don't make it a big issue. Don't make it a big thing. Kind of go, hey, next time I'll nail it. That way you're building a healthy approach to your personal development work, to whether it's your meditation practice. Sometimes we just don't get where we feel we should with it. Sometimes we just have a session where it just doesn't click, and that's okay. As long as you allow it to be okay. But if you want to make it an issue, then you're basically just giving yourself a hard time. You're that teacher at school who was like, Chapman, why haven't you done this? It's a terrible thing, detention. You don't need to be that person to yourself. Treat your personal development with compassion. Approach it with compassion. So those are my two really simple techniques, two simple real ideas. Just do it. Build a habit of that job needs doing, just do it. What you'll find is as you build that habit, it gets to the point that sometimes, especially with those boring jobs you didn't really want to do, you realize you've done it before you realized you had to think about doing it. That's when you know you're getting it. That's when you know it's working for you. And again, how is it that you can now begin to start to procrastinate your procrastination? What is it you'll do the next time that you're thinking of, I should do that, but that will allow you to put off that idea of but and allow you to do it? And you might not consciously know that yet, but as I'm speaking to you, these ideas and thoughts can work with your unconscious mind and your imagination, the inner self. I'm slowly moving away from the term unconscious mind. It seems too clinical. I kind of really like this phrase, your inner self. It's the inner world. It's, we all have the stuff that goes on in here that no one ever sees, everyone knows about. And there's a lot of that stuff we don't even know about. But that part of you can now begin to discover ways to just do it and how to procrastinate your procrastination, put off putting it off. How do you do that now and every time you need to get something done? So let's get into some meditation, a nice relaxation meditation, and then I'm going to take you through a hypnosis process to help kickstart your ability to get things done. And you can find that easy, especially as this first relaxation and meditation will really allow you to be in the right place for the second part. For those who this is the first time, we'll just explain a few things with the approach to meditation and any sort of guided work that we do. Do not worry if you are not seeing the things I describe like a movie in your mind. I'll let you know straight away, I very rarely do. However, in any of this, I'm basically asking you to think about things, to imagine things. So if I was to ask you to think of a dog walking down a road, for some of you, you can see a dog walking down a road in your mind. For other of us, we know what a dog walking down a road looks like. We just don't necessarily see the image. But to know what it looks like, this is the secret, you have to be visualizing. So if I ask you to picture, to imagine stuff, I try not to use the word visualize too much because people go, visualization, can't do it, but you can. In fact, to actually know what you would look like visualizing, you have to be able to visualize. So don't worry if you're not getting this like a movie. If I am asking you to picture something, imagine like walking along a beach. Very rarely do that. But if you can't see yourself walking along a beach, you have the idea of it. You can think about it however you think about it. And that's what we're doing with all this. We're getting you to work in here and within rather than we're always out here. And it's good. It's good to get in here. So we'll set this up with, always take a few deep breaths to start off with, because that just creates a divide between what's been and this moment now. And we always set an intent. So we'll say, I am going to meditate. I'm going to relax. I'm going to feel good. And I'll talk us through this as we go. So have a fidget, have a stretch, get comfortable. And we'll begin. Now, I don't want you to close your eyes on the first breath that we take together. And I don't want you to close your eyes on the second breath that we take together. But on the third breath, as we breathe in together, as you breathe out, just in the time you need to take to start to begin to relax, you can allow your eyes to just gently close. So let's take a deep breath in together, breathing in, hold it, and breathe out. Breathing in Hold it and breathe out. Breathing in, hold it, and just breathe out. And let your eyes close just in the time you need to take to relax and go within for a while. And just return to your natural breath. That gentle rise and fall, that in and out, your own natural tide. It's been with you since you were born. And allow that natural rhythm, that natural tide to guide you into a nice state of relaxation today. And there's nothing to do, just relax. The more you relax, the better you can feel. The better you feel, the more you can relax. As you tell yourself now, I am going to relax. I am going to meditate. Outside noises will not distract me. Everyday thoughts will not disturb me. They just help me to go deeper. And I want you to just become aware of the sensation of your breath as it enters through your nostrils. And it doesn't matter whether you breathe out through your nose or through your mouth. We all tend to have a preference on that, and it's what works for you. But just focus on that point, that as you breathe in, you can feel the cooler air going up through the nostrils. And I just want you to focus on that point, wherever that is for you. And as you're doing that, just imagine with each breath, you're drawing the air in and it's going all the way down to the tips of your toes. And then all the way back out. Just imagining that can allow you to take natural but deeper breaths. And for a while, I just want you to focus on that sensation of the air going in through the nostrils and back out. Just breathing. And if your mind drifts, something distracts you, a thought or a sound, just bring yourself back to the task in hand. And I wonder, will it be 3, 5 or 7 breaths time when you begin to notice yourself relaxing into this even more? As you begin to notice now where relaxation starts for you. And meanwhile, just observing your breath. In the same way you may watch a film or a play. Each breath carrying you deeper. Focusing within. And I wonder just how much more you can focus within now. Allowing that point of stillness to grow and expand with each breath. Easy and effortless. And allow that feeling of relaxation and stillness to flow within you. However you do that now. And there's nothing to attempt, nothing to be done. Just watching yourself breathe. Every time that is now. Every way that is here. Everywhere that is that, and so much more now. And maybe you can begin to notice, maybe you can begin to experience a deeper level of relaxation and inner focus behind that you've already discovered. A stillness behind the stillness. I wonder what that feels like to you. In every way like this. Just take a few more moments in silence. And then just gently, without disturbing that sense of stillness, just gently open your eyes for a moment. being aware of myself, my voice. And so now we're going to go into a wonderful light state of hypnosis and trance, which may not feel much different to the meditation we've just done, because meditation and trance are quite similar in that sense. And this is something you can do even easier than maybe in the past, because we've just shared that meditation together. And so I want you to take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, close your eyes now and let go. Allowing every tension to soften, allowing your muscles to relax. And so now you are feeling pleasantly and lightly relaxed, allowing yourself to drift. And I want you to imagine, pretend, in your mind's eye you can see a candle. A candle of pure relaxation. Now I don't know what colour that candle is for you. Whatever colour that candle is now, it's the perfect colour that your unconscious mind has chosen for you to relax, go into trance and really get the most from this today. And as you watch that candle, watch the first bead of wax begin to run down the side of it. A candle of relaxation, followed by another and another drop of wax running down the candle into a pool at the bottom. A pool of wonderful relaxation, just running down the sides of that candle, dripping, easing, softening. Notice the flame. Is there one colour, two colours? Are there many colours as those wonderful relaxing beads of wax just drip down into an ever-increasing pool of relaxation now? And step into that candle, drift into that candle of relaxation. Notice how with each bead of wax running down, another tension can soften, the muscles can relax. As you begin to let go and drift now into that pool of warm relaxation. With each breath, each moment, each word that I speak, relaxing. And as you're feeling pleasantly and lightly relaxed, you can reflect a little more on our discussion earlier, where we were talking about procrastination, and I dare say as we were chatting, I imagine you had your own thoughts about the areas of your life where maybe you put things off that you could do today. And some of us, as we're talking about, think of those areas and those habits we have of regularly putting things off. And because being in a state of light relaxation allows us to be more creative be more observant and allows us to be more detached from a problem too. This now is the ideal state for you to see things from a different perspective and come up with some creative and effective solutions to your own times of procrastination. So I would like that part of you that is so good at identifying problems and finding solutions to come forward now and do a bit of interesting work that can be done all at the unconscious inner self level. So, being creative right now. Imagine that you have an inner laptop, an inner computer, PC. Just picture that there, you got the keyboard and the screen. And I want you to have a look at the screen and just on that screen rerun some of those occasions where you've put off doing something that was really important or just needed doing. Just have a look at that you on the screen in a detached kind of way. And really notice what is stopping you from getting down to things. What's that that's really stopping you from getting them done? And while you check those things out, hearing those inner thoughts, seeing the detail as well as the bigger picture, become aware of any gut reactions. Please double check and by relaxing more, that you still believe that the two main problems of finding complex tasks overwhelming and avoiding tasks that you simply don't like very much. Just thinking of those two reasons, those two main reasons. The problem seems too big, or I just don't like it. And just notice that you're ready to make changes to enable you to get down to things, to just do it straight away and get on with things, even if you don't much feel like the task. And just remember that here in that inner state, your inner self, your unconscious mind is particularly open and receptive. It will take on all the ideas and suggestions that are right for you and will not only improve the quality of your work, but give you a wonderful feeling of personal satisfaction too. Now, just go to that mental laptop, that computer once again, and click on the button that connects you to the internet, to the web, where you can download exactly the application you need to solve your problems. Let's just go through that procedure. First, you need to look for the application, chunk down, in order to get to grips with complex or overwhelming large problems. Find the icon and click on it, and it will download all the solutions right now. Having done that, you can save it. Just click that save button so that your application will run automatically from now on. Excellent. Now do the same thing with the icon called, notice one called Teeth Gritter, which is the application that will help you get on and get done any task. Like the task or not, your unconscious mind will just understand exactly how to do this without your unconscious mind needing to know how it's done. You'll just be aware that your attitude is changing day by day, and things are getting done because you make them get done. You have the inner conviction that you are up to the challenge. You actively enjoy that challenge. So click on that teeth gritter, that grit to get it done, downloading that app, and then save it. That's right. Now the Chunk Down application is great. With this application running perfectly, you'll have a far more positive attitude towards tasks. You'll find that those old, overwhelming feelings have turned into positive, proactive thoughts as you set aside the time to plan out the task and write down the plan. You'll automatically find yourself working through these questions in your mind. How can I break up this piece of work into manageable sized chunks, into littler steps? Where will I keep the list of separate tasks that make up the whole? Will it be on my PC? Will it be on a diary? Which way do I get most pleasure as I check them off on completion? How long will each one take? Which can I fit into an hour? Are there any I can do whilst travelling somewhere, on the train, in a car, or for a walk? Are there any bite-sized tasks that I have to do that I can just do now? Maybe there's things I can do even whilst I'm waiting to get through on a phone call to someone. Please wait. Your call is important to us. I wonder what little tasks you can get done then, whilst you wait. Are there any tasks that you can delegate? It all begins to seem more manageable now, does it not? With your Chunk Down application installed. This is how you work now, quite automatically, breaking down each large piece of work of a task into smaller, bite-sized chunks, as and when necessary, and you'll work your way through every task until it's completed. Continue through every task until the whole project, the whole job is completed. A good job. And the Teeth Gritter, well, that new application, that new program running powerfully for you is brilliant. It just helps you come to the conclusion that there are indeed some tasks that you really don't feel like doing now. But suddenly you actually realize that you were never going to feel like doing them later either. You stop kidding yourself, stop deceiving yourself, and you simply grit your teeth and you get down to the task. You just do it. Just get on with them. You start them, you continue them, and you finish them. And the best thing of all is that you get this wonderful sense of satisfaction whilst you are doing it. Even the merest hint of an internal voice saying, "Oh, I don't feel like doing this," only serves to increase your determination to just do it now and finish it now. Nothing will stop you now. Nothing will get in your way. A tremendous feeling of satisfaction. So the final thing to do really is to click on that program with the image of you on the screen with your new applications running, specifically so you can observe how you fix the problem so well. Your unconscious mind, inner self, is supporting you every step of the way. You get a strong sense of achievement. Look at you. You look calm. You seem very much in control. Listen, can you hear it in your voice? You are powerful, and you like this feeling of forward movement and achievement. Feel how satisfying it is to do what you need to do, to know that you can do this, and to do what you know you have to do. The relief and sense of achievement as you just get on with it. Everything happening on time, in time. Some tasks, inevitably, you're going to enjoy more than others. And that's life. But the most important thing to you now is that liking the task seems secondary to getting on with it and getting it done. For that is where you are deriving your greatest sense of satisfaction. Excellent job. Notice also the positive effect on people around you who seem to notice and respect you as you have a greater sense of self-respect too. And you can feel compelled to do whatever it takes to achieve your aims, your goals, your tasks for the day. Nothing can stop you now. Congratulations on what you have achieved today. You've made some useful decisions, you've made some excellent plans, and your unconscious mind, your inner self, will work in harmony with your conscious mind to ensure that you carry every one of them out. Just imagine that. Just doing it. I could tell you that you'll have an irresistible urge, a driving to desire to do those things you complain you keep putting off. And I could tell you that whilst you drift in and out of trance, that you'll get a great satisfaction out of doing these things you haven't, that nothing else will seem to be as much fun. And that may work. But the only way we'll know for sure is if you do your very best to fight that idea, that impulse, and to not do those things better for a while, if you can, or to not do them very well, if you must. Because I know it will be difficult to not do these things for a while, so I'm going to give you permission to go ahead and do some things. But just those things you have to do. So remember to just do what you need to do and to try to force yourself to put off everything else, so that those hypnotic suggestions have time to build up in force while you resist them as much as possible and just do some things. Whatever things you feel you have to do, but keep fighting that hypnotic urge to do everything at once as much as you can. I wonder how much fun you can have procrastinating your procrastination. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. As I count from 1 to 10, you can slowly emerge, feeling refreshed, revitalized, ready for the rest of the week, feeling really, really good. That's 1, every cell, fiber and muscle of the body coming back to normal everyday awareness. Number 2, to be that new you, to get those things done and just do it. 3, feel a whoosh of energy from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, energizing, refreshing, revitalizing, feeling good. 4, taking a nice deep breath in, filling the body and the mind with that oxygen, feeling good. 5, another deep breath in. Feel that oxygen exciting the mind, filling the body with energy. 6, 7, coming back. 8, 9, ready to feel really good. And when you are ready to begin now to start procrastinating your procrastination, when you're ready to just take those tasks and just do them, then and only then can you open your eyes on 9, 10. Be here, be now, have a stretch, have a fidget, feel good. And as you're coming back, I'm going to just touch on another thing you can do, and we kind of touched it a little bit in this, is just sit down with those tasks you keep putting off and break them down, write them out. Might not want to do the whole thing all at once, but maybe you can do this little bit, that little bit. Break it down into component parts, little bits and pieces, and just think how good you can feel once that's done. Even if it's something that the thought of doing doesn't feel so good, you can feel good once you've done it.